One, two, 1, 2, 3.
I want y'all to look at this. See how this tree is blown over? Look at all the sprouts coming out of the top. Tree's blown over. I don't guess it's not dead because you got them sprouts. I'm not really sure what blew it over, to be honest with you. That's it right there. I know this ain't really rare. It's a perfectly natural thing. It just kind of freaks me out a little bit. Not freaks me out, but it's just kind of neat. See this tree blowed over flat at it's not a 90-degree angle, but pretty close. And you got these little sprouts just sprouting at the top of it. None on the bottom. It's all on the top. Huh. Alright, looks like we had a little bit of action here. Not a whole lot though. Of course all the cat food's gone, but that don't mean anything. The wind sometimes blow those bottles back and forth and it knocks it out some, so. But something happened down here because I got like 95 videos. Right there is where I sprayed, or I put out the little attractant, the little magic dust. Something's been eating a little bit of corn. Like I said, the cat food bottles are empty. So it rained, gosh, a couple of 3 days after I put this stuff out. So you can tell the jello is turned into gelatin just about. But at the side up the hill here, man, they tore that ground up. I'll show that to y'all in just a minute. But I gotta change the batteries out on that camera, put a new card in it, and fill everything back up. See what we got on it. All right, this is the other place I put some of that attractant out at. Right here's where I put it. It is not only completely gone, somebody's been digging a hole down in the middle of it, trying to get to it. It is all gone, y'all. I didn't expect this. I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm, pleased with it. At least it worked up here. Down there, I don't know, it's not very far, maybe 75 yards down there is where I just came from. It didn't do too good, but right here, man, it did real good. I got something else I'm gonna try this time. I'll show y'all in a minute. Okay, this is what I did down here at this side. I had a little bit of corn left in that jug right there, just that much, so I went ahead and just poured it out right here where I poured the attractant at last week. But this is what's new. I made up some new, I don't even know what you call them, little cakes, I guess. All that's in them, and the one on the bottom, see they're two different colors. I don't know if you noticed that or not. The one at the bottom is a little bit lighter than the one on the dark top. This one right here on top has got molasses, peanuts, oats, molasses, peanuts, oats, oh, and grits mixed in. And that's why that one's darker, is because it's got molasses mixed in too. This one down here on the bottom has everything in it except the molasses. It's just got corn syrup in it. That one's got corn syrup and molasses. That one's got just corn syrup in it. I'm gonna put these down here. I'm gonna see how these do. I know right here that attractant did really good, so I just got these drilled to the side of the tree. They're not tight, they're just sitting on there loose, both of them are. So we're gonna let them dry out and see what we can make at it, see what kind of behavior goes on with those two things. I didn't put out any more attractant, just the corn. Okay, so what we got, those last two bait stations, those last two camera locations, let me put it like that. We got one of them that some of that attractant that I made up last week. Oh, worked real good at one of them, and then at the other one, it's kind of hard to tell because it wasn't as disturbed as much. Get over this bump. It wasn't disturbed as much, but it's also, there was a lot of corn there. There's a gallon jug of corn, and those 2 hanging bottles of cat feed. So, but both of them had a high number of videos. I think one of them had 80 something, the other one had 90 something, I think, videos in a week. Now some of them, I'd say probably 50% of them is branches moving, setting off the camera, stuff like that. That's still a lot for 1 week. So that one where they was disturbed, I mean, whatever it was, we'll see when we check out the cameras, but they just dug a hole right down in the middle of where it was at. So I put that stuff out at all locations, so I'm kind of anxious to see what its effect on it was, whether they were feeding on that a lot during the day or at night, or if they cared if it was day or night, what it was that was doing the feeding. So that's gonna be a real interesting thing to look at, I think, and see if it works better in like in the pine thicket where you already got that pine scent, because that's all it is a scent. That stuff draws it to them, and then once they get there, it's got enough salt in it, you know, because they love salt anyway. So salt and sugar and all kinds of stuff in it. But it'd be kind of interesting just to see what the dynamics of the whole thing, you know, is. Like I said, I'm gonna do some things a little different this week too. So it's all an experiment. That's the fun thing about it. You know, you're trying things out and just seeing how stuff goes. I know there's a lot of stuff that's tried and true and stuff like that, but when you learn something yourself, it tends to make more sense to you when you realize stuff on your own. That goes for anything, any kind of schooling that you go through too. That's why you have homework, is so you can practice, and it allows you to discover things on your own, because the things you discover on your own makes more sense to you, and it stays with you longer than if somebody just telling you. So we'll kind of go through what we got, kind of look back at some of the instances where this stuff is taking place, whatever that means. I'm just rambling there for a minute, but we'll see what we got. That sounds so much better.